Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Empower Your Evolution podcast. And today I have guest Jess on. So Jess is a full-time teacher and a life and mindset coach, and she goes by the name Jess Louise Coaching on social media. So if anyone wants to follow her, give her a follow. So first of all, me and Jess met. Jess was coming to my yoga classes. So Jess has been coming to my classes for over 2 years now.
Just about 2 years.
So first of all, let's find out how your yoga journey started and how yoga has impacted you over the past couple of years.
So it was January 2023, I can't quite believe, nearly 2 years ago, and I was consumed with anxious thoughts. I was suffering with long COVID at the time. I'd been suffering since October to the point where I couldn't even get out of bed. It was an achievement just to get a shower. And I thought something has to change. So me and my grand big epiphanies was on a walk with my friend, and I said to her, I'm going to train to be a yoga teacher. And we laugh about this now. And she said to me, I think that's, a good idea, Jess, but you don't even go to yoga. Isn't it worth actually going to a class? So I said she had a fair point. And I looked into it, and just around the corner, I saw your 6 weeks beginners course. So I thought, this is my sign, this is it. I'll do the 6 weeks and then I'll train to be a yoga teacher, and all my anxious thoughts, all my anxieties, they will go. So I came to your first yoga session of the 6 sessions, and then I fell down the stairs and I broke my sacrum. And I thought, oh my goodness me, I loved the session, and I thought, this is it, this is a game changer. I felt so amazing, so calm, so zen. And then I fell down the stairs. So of course I had to message you and say, look, I'm really sorry. I really enjoyed it, but I just can't come for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So you were really lovely about it and said, don't worry, just come to my next block of 6, which I did. And I kept going back and back and back. And I think one of my worries was, I was thinking, can you do more than, one course of 6 weeks beginners yoga? But as you rightly pointed out, you could do it forever if you wanted. And I learned so much about myself. And it just really calmed my anxious thoughts. And I know that if I don't do a yoga class, I feel all out of sorts. I mean, just before Christmas, it was really busy and I only managed to get to 1 class during the week. And by the end of that week, I thought, no, can't do this anymore. So I am making a commitment, at least 2 to 3 classes each week, because it keeps those anxious thoughts at bay. It's just my time on the mat. So yeah, that's a little bit about my yoga journey. And the yoga teacher training, it's not off the cards, that's for sure. It's not off the cards.
Well, that's great to hear, Jess, because obviously what is the word I'm trying to look for? But it's a compliment to me that you've stuck with me the whole time. Like, that is really amazing, and I'm glad you get so much out of the yoga, the classes that you come to, and that is what I want for my students. I want them to be able to connect with themselves, to take that time out for themselves. There's so many different styles of yoga, and every class is completely different, and I just think there's so many different benefits. So every class you'll find something else, whether that's you'll learn something more about yourself or you'll take something away. It's just amazing, isn't it? Like, it's life-changing, I personally think, anyway. Obviously I could talk Absolutely. Day in, day out about yoga, but it is something, that we are encouraging for people to try. It might not work for you, but it works for a lot of us, so it's one of them. Anyway, Jess is here to show us and tell us how to create a proper vision board for 2025. So I've never actually done a vision board. I have always set goals and got organised for the new year and kind of know what direction I want to go, set myself a good sort of routine every day. But I want Jess to step by step go through how to create the perfect vision board that is going to help you with direction in the new year. So first of all, Jess, just let's strip it completely back. What is a vision board?
So a vision board is basically it could be a collage, it could be a list. It's your dreams, it's your biggest goals, your desires. And there is no right way to do a vision board, or there is no perfect vision board, but it's your chance to write down what are your biggest desires and go for them.
No, that's Sounds simple, doesn't it, really? But I think it's a lot of us don't do it. Why do we not do it? Why do we not, want to figure out what we want from 2025, from the new year? I've already written a list of what I want to achieve in the new year, but I do try and nudge some people as well to do the same, because if you might have it in your head, but I just feel like if you don't have it on paper, sometimes it might get lost in your head, and sometimes you might lose direction of where you are going or where you are working towards. Whereas if you have it written down, or you have a collage and you have it printed out, or whether it's on the notes on your phone, you've always got that then to go back to and to check and to redirect you and to remind you what you are working on. So what's the first step? If I'm completely new to vision boards and I've never done anything like this before, what would your first step for me be?
So I think the first step is to actually write down what it is that you want. So make it really specific, go big or go home, as they say. I went to a workshop a few years ago now with Roxy Nafusi, and she started the show. It was in Dublin. It was a great day, honestly. I remember it like it was yesterday. But she asked us to write down our goals and desires, and I wrote them down, and I thought, wow, this is amazing, this is my vision. And then she asked us to do something really controversial, which was to actually rip the page completely. And I thought, oh no, this is in my manifest book. And I thought, I don't like ripping out pages, and I'd never write in books anyway, so this was a rarity for me. So I thought, okay, I'll trust this. So I ripped up the page, and I've still got the page. I've sellotaped it back together, and it was raining in Dublin, and I was writing with an ink pen. So it's all smudged.
Messing with our OCD.
Yeah, it's all wrecked, but it still stays in that book. And the point of the exercise was she wanted us to dream bigger. And I totally understand where she was coming from, because I thought I was writing down my biggest goals and desires. But when I ripped it up and she made us do it again, I realised I wasn't dreaming big enough. So I think the first step is to write down what it is that you want. Then I think it's about prioritising. So you might have 3 million different goals. You might have a goal related to finance. You might have a goal related to family. You might have a goal relating to wanting to get married or manifesting a new career. It could be literally anything and everything. And I think it's about seeing, well, what are my priorities for 2025? What would be the best thing that I could do that would make this bit easier, that bit easier, and this bit easier? Because you'll actually find that your goals are quite intertwined. So if you do one thing, which is your biggest priority, it would make that easier or that easier and this and that. So that's what I'd do first. I'd write your big list, dream big, and then I'd start to think, okay, out of that big list, what are my top 3 priorities? Write down your top 3 priorities. You could even assign them into different categories if you want. So I've done various different vision boards over my life. Oh my goodness, I've done mood boards, I've done phone collages, I've done lists, at the moment I've got a big sheet of card with big hearts on in the different categories. So that's again something that you might want to do.
So you can basically go into as much detail or as little detail as you want.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you're a newbie, don't overthink it. Please don't overthink it.
Just write.
Just
pick up
simple.
the pen
and
write.
Simple, specific, pick up the pen and write. And I wouldn't go out and get this massive big piece of a whatever card and look at it and think, I don't know what I'm doing, because you will. You'll overwhelm yourself.
So
pick something small.
What if someone picks up a pen and struggles to write?
Okay, that is where I'd say sink into a feeling. If you don't know what you want to manifest, if you don't know what you want to set as a goal, maybe in terms of your career or relationships, you might just be coasting thinking, well, I've got everything that I want. I don't really want anything, or I don't really know what I want to manifest or bring into my life. How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel at peace? Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel happy, energized, excited by life? And then go from there.
Okay.
What would bring that excitement?
No, that's a very good answer, Jess. I just know some people will struggle.
Absolutely, myself included.
Yeah. Sometimes you know what you want to work towards in the new year, but then other times You know, you may feel a little bit stuck and not know which direction you want to go in, or not know what hobbies you want to go for. So no, thank you for answering that. Leaning into the feels and how you want to feel in 2025, whether that's, you said, calm, at peace,
Absolutely.
happy, healthy. There's all different feelings. Okay, amazing. So once we've written everything down on paper, or whether that's on Canva or wherever people do in the mood boards, what is the next step? So I have written everything down. I have categorized it because I am a little bit OCD with my organization and everything else. To say I've categorized it, I've got into detail from what I want. Very detailed vision board.
Excellent.
What is next?
So what is next is, well, how are you going to bring it to fruition? So would you write down when you want to achieve a certain goal by? So for example, if you've got in your 6, say, different categories, look at your career, for example. So when is it that you want to achieve that specific goal? Do you want to set a date? Do you want to set a date for 6 months' time?
Or set deadlines,
potentially? Yeah, deadlines. That holds yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Could you speak to a friend or a family member and ask them to hold you accountable? There's weekly practices that you could do. So for example, one that I've been trialing out recently, and I absolutely love this one. So this was one that was mentioned by my the academy lead, Jude Daunt, who I've done my mindset training with, my qualification. And recently she did a podcast about this, and it's called the 68-second manifestation technique. So I listen to it every single morning, and it basically says that if you focus for 17 seconds at a time on a single thought or a goal that you want to bring into fruition, if you do that repeatedly for 4 times across the 68 seconds, then it increases and supercharges that thought and brings it to fruition. So I tried it out, and this is a bit of a funny example. Well, not a funny example, because it did work. I said a while ago, it was back in November when I started doing this, I want to manifest winning the Amaze House prize draw, because I don't know if you've seen all the ads on Instagram and Facebook for the World prize draw. So my mum, my brother Sam, and myself, we all put £5 in because it was £15 for these entries. And every day I was focusing really hard on this goal, really hard. And when the day of the results came out, I got this email, "You've won!" And I thought, oh my word, won £10, amazing. I realised I wasn't specific enough. I need to be specific. So I did win, amazing, fantastic. So I've got the £10 in the next month's draw, fingers crossed. And it actually just pointed out to me that actually I need to be more specific. But that's just one way that you could actually supercharge what's on your vision board and make it come to reality. So I do that every single day. Also as well, I try to do a meditation once a week, just on a Sunday evening, just to set me up for the week ahead. I also use Shavasana, so I always use that to think about my goals, think about what's on my vision board, how can I make it happen, and when it does happen, make sure you celebrate those wins, because so often we can get caught out with just ticking off the goals on the vision board, and then you don't actually celebrate those successes. So I've made a big point this year of actually, when something does come to fruition,
celebrating.
Wow,
absolutely.
Amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so can I just go back to when you were saying about when you were doing the 68 seconds manifestation every morning? You dedicated over a minute to just thinking about that one thought that you were going to win the Amaze prize.
Yes.
And you were saying when you focus on that for over a minute, it supercharges those thoughts, multiplies thoughts. So that is the same when we are focusing on something negative as well. So when we have a negative thought, and majority of the time, it's hard to break the cycle of that negative thought. So say if we don't know how to break the cycle and we're just focusing on this one negative thought, whatever it be, someone might have pissed you off, you might have got into trouble at work, whatever it is, the more you focus on it, the more that thought multiplies, and the more you explained it, supercharged.
Yes.
So have you got any other words to explain a negative thought? And is it
a limiting belief?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of a words where obviously if you think about something, it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. So the
Gets
more you're thinking
bigger.
of the negative thought,
Yeah.
the more it's growing,
The
and the
more
more
you
it's going to be
believe in it.
harder for you to break that cycle. So that when you were talking about the manifestation, that just made me think that obviously you can use, you can use these techniques without even noticing, and
It can
you're
affect you in a negative way, can't it? If you're focusing
absolutely,
on negative
absolutely,
thoughts and they ruminate and then they get worse.
yes,
So the
yes,
point is you've got to try and focus on the positive. So one of the tools that I use in my coaching practice is reframing. So if you're constantly going around saying, oh, well, I would like to write that on my vision board because I'd love to do that, but that won't happen for me. I hear it all the time,
yeah,
not
yeah,
just from
yeah.
my coaching clients, but from friends, family. Yeah, but no, it won't happen for me. Or, oh, yeah, wishful thinking. Well, who
Why not?
says? Why
Why
not?
not?
Turn that into, okay, I'm willing to try. I'm willing to learn. I am willing to explore opportunities to get myself there. I mean, every single one of us can look at something in our lives and think, wow, how did we do that? We did it because we changed those negative beliefs into positive beliefs, whether that was consciously or subconsciously. So I think the main message is anything is possible. You've just got
Absolutely.
to
Get rid of the
focus on the
limiting
positive.
beliefs.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No, I'm here for it, Jess. I'm here for it. So let's go back to the vision board now.
Yeah, of course.
So where were we up to?
So we've decided that we've got our big list, we've split it into the categories, we've maybe put some time frames on them. We're doing our
Deadlines.
deadlines,
Yeah.
go on.
Well, I think that's where maybe I've gone wrong over the past few years, is
Okay.
I haven't set those deadlines. But I'm also aware you can kind of set yourself up to fail with unrealistic deadlines. Have you got anything to say around that?
So I've set deadlines in the past and they haven't worked, if I'm being honest. I think sometimes now, even if I look back at my vision boards from 2021, I am just achieving those. So I've actually stopped using deadlines because I don't think they personally work for me, and it sounds like they maybe don't work for you.
I think, people could see a deadline as in 6 weeks' time, and it's like how realistic, I think you're setting yourself up for failure if you're, wanting to change career and make a big move in life in 6 weeks, because that's such a short space of time. So if you are setting deadlines, maybe think about just setting longer deadlines, maybe a year's time, maybe 2 years' time, because we're getting on with our everyday life every day.
We are.
And these things take time.
They do. So I think it's about being patient with yourself. And if you achieve that goal 3 years later, which some of my goals are, absolutely amazing.
Fabulous.
Because there's no
Celebrate
timer.
it.
Absolutely celebrate it.
Okay, fab. So the next step?
The next step. Okay, so we've set the deadlines. We are doing our daily practices. One that I haven't mentioned yet is positive affirmations. So again, positive affirmations can help to reprogram the brain. So in the morning, for example, I always listen to my morning positive affirmations, and they can really help to supercharge what's on my manifestation board. I can think about my goal. I can think, yes, I get into that energy that it is possible. And you'll find that you'll go about your day and actually things happen that align with those values and those priorities that I've put on my vision board. I think another example is one that I hugely believe in is gratitude. So every morning and night, I will always write down my gratitude. I'm just about to start on the 1st of January, a 28-day practice, The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. I do this every year, and every year I've seen massive results. So I can't wait for that.
January is such a good time as well, isn't it? Because it's known as, the blue
fresh
month.
Start, new beginnings.
Yeah, but it's also a really difficult month for people. People have had so many plans over Christmas, and going back to January, they may have nothing to look forward to. So it's always good to have certain practices throughout January to keep you feeling good. I was going to say something about affirmations. So my favorite affirmations are: I am strong, I am powerful, and I am capable. And you should know this because sometimes I say my affirmations to my students in a class, but I created those affirmations when I was on my yoga teacher training course. And those affirmations have, I wouldn't say carried me through, but have given me strength through some tough times. And it's crazy it's just crazy, isn't it, that what you say to yourself, you feel.
Yes.
So if I was to say I'm not even going to say bad things about myself, but if I was to say 3 bad things about myself, I would start to believe it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas if you change that narrative around and you say 3 good things about yourself, you'll start to believe it as well. And I think that's really important moving forwards for people, because we all can be our own critic, our own worst critics. We all can be so harsh on ourselves, and some of the things we say to ourselves, we wouldn't dream of saying to other people. So why are we allowing ourselves to say it to ourselves? Because whatever you say, you believe. So that I love the affirmations. That was a really good one.
Too.
Thank you.
Me too. No, it's no worries. I think affirmations, you can walk up a mountain and say, I am strong, I am healthy, I can do this. And personal experience, it helps me get up there.
Absolutely.
People around me are like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's working. But if I don't, and if I'm saying in my head, I'm tired,
legs hurt,
I just want to go back down, I'll want to go back down, and I'll give up. So I think affirmations, they are hugely powerful. And I recommend them in my coaching practice, in the events that I run here as well. I love affirmations. And if you want any affirmations recommendations, then please just either get in touch with Becky.
Jess is the queen of affirmations.
Love them.
So what's next?
So after you've set the deadlines, well, I say deadlines, I really wouldn't set deadlines. They don't work personally for me. They might work for you, and that's okay. If you wanted to be a little bit more open, you might want to have, say, within 5 years' time or 10 years' time. And then after that, it is keeping your vision board out. And I know that so many people have different ideas. Some people say put them away. Some people say have them out every day. Now, I've tried both. I have tried keeping my vision board out, where I look at it every single morning and every single night before I go to bed. And that is where I've had the most success. I've also tried putting my vision board away in like the wardrobe and then just bringing it out every 6 months. But I find when I do that and I bring it out after the 6 months, I think I'd forgotten about that, or I'd forgotten about that. So actually, the ones where I've got the most from are the ones that I see every single day. So that would be my tip, is to have it somewhere where you'll see it each day. Maybe meditate, maybe visualize when you're actually looking at all of those goals. So for example, a few years ago, I had the exact house that I wanted to buy, and at the time it had fallen through, my offer was rejected and things, and I just kept seeing it, thinking, nope, it will happen for me. That house, it's meant for me. I know. I got that really good sense of calm when I went in, and I just loved it. I am living in that house now, so it does work, and that's just one example.
So I'm actually having a vision board night tonight with one of my friends.
So exciting.
I've already prepped, I've already written. I think I've written about 15 things down in my journal.
Wow.
And they're the things that I just want to happen in 2025. I feel like I've been on a journey the past few years, focusing on myself and building, and I'm really, really excited to go into 25 with a clear list of things I want to achieve, I guess, things I want to experience. I'm a big believer. At the top, I have a big whiteboard at the top of my bed, which people may think is a bit crazy, and it's a calendar. At the top of it, I've had it written on there for a couple of years: create the life you want to live. And I'm just a huge believer of this. But I'm excited to have my vision board. I'm going to change it as my background on my phone.
I was going to say, are you going to change that calendar to your vision board, and then every time you wake up, make sure you turn around and be like, oh,
well, I've also
I'm
going to do it on my phone. I'm going to do it as my laptop screensaver, and then I've also got like some frames in my room. So I'm going to actually print it out and put it in a frame and put it next to my others because they're very sort of Zen, yoga, quotes, mindfulness. So it'll just add nicely, I think, to my frame to put on my wall.
Your reticular activating system is going to be like whizzing.
What do you mean?
Your reticular activating system? Because it's going to. So the reticular activating system, it's known as your RAS, and it's looking out for all of the positives or anything that you want to bring into your life. So I've said this before, for example, look out for red cars. So all of a sudden, because I've given you that task to do, you'll go out there now and you'll be seeing red cars everywhere because I've told your brain that.
Okay.
Now you've set your vision board, you know what's on there, and if you're seeing it every time you wake up, you're going to bed, on your phone, on your laptop, you'll be leaving the house and you'll be looking and seeking out those opportunities. So I'm so excited.
And I'm such a big believer of you create your opportunities. I'm a huge believer of opportunities are everywhere.
They are.
You just have to spot them. And the way to do that is, like Jess is saying, to have what you want fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you walk up that door, you won't let an opportunity go past.
No.
I love that. Absolutely love that. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to do it tonight. I'm excited to put it on my screensaver, to put it on my laptop, and to put it in my room. I might even put one in my office as well.
Oh, wow.
Downstairs, to just keep me on track.
I'm excited for you. You'll have to update me.
So yeah, no, definitely. Is there anything else you want to add about a vision board? Any tips if someone hasn't made one before? What advice would you give? It can be sort of overwhelming if you know this is the first thing that you sort of come into for the new year. So what advice would you give?
I think my top tips would just be to don't overthink it. Just get a small piece of paper, bullet point a list of what you want, your biggest hopes and desires, rank them in order. So you've got your 3 important goals and then whatever else you want to come next, and just have fun, be creative and make it your own. This is supposed to be exciting, you know, it's make it your own, just enjoy.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Like you want to enjoy the process.
Yes.
So yeah, well, you're going to be doing a little bit of a workshop on our retreat on Saturday the 4th of Jan.
I am.
So do you want to tell us a little bit like that? Is it going to be very similar? Because it is the first weekend of January. So are you going to be guiding people to set intentions, set goals for the rest of the year? What can people expect in that workshop on the retreat?
So I believe there are a few spaces available at this point anyway. So if you are thinking about booking on, then this is something that you will have to look forward to. So this is a workbook that I have designed. So design your dream year 2025, unleash your potential. And in here, I'll be guiding you through exercises such as, so we'll start by reflecting. I think it's really important that you actually reflect on if you've made a vision board in the past. So last night, for example, I sat down and I reflected on 2024. What were my biggest wins? What were the lessons that I learned? And what are the things that I haven't yet achieved, but they're still on my goals list? And I can just transfer them over because, as I said, I'm not into setting a deadline anymore. And then I have put a section in here just about, this is a tool that I use with my coaching clients, and it's called the life assessment. So at the beginning of the coaching program, when I work with clients, I ask them to actually write down where they are in their life in each area. So in terms of your career, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? So you might say that you are maybe at a 3 or 4 out of 10. And I ask, well, what does that look and feel like to you? So it's a 4 out of 10 because maybe you're not enjoying your work at that point. Maybe you want a change of careers, and you can actually reflect and think, well, what do I want for 2025 and how can I get that score a bit higher? Or if it's, for example, your health, you know, if it's a 2 out of 10, why is it a 2 out of 10? You know, is there anything that you could be doing on a daily or weekly basis to actually improve your health? Similarly with family, you know, if it's a low score, I hope none of these scores are low, by the way, but I appreciate that we all have different areas in our life that we want to focus on. So if your family, it's a 1 out of 10, maybe you're not speaking to your brother or you're not speaking to your auntie, or there's been a fallout or something, then what is within your control to get that score higher? Who are the people that you can surround yourself with? Similar with friendships and relationships. You know, if it's a 1 out of 10 because maybe you haven't been in a relationship for a long time, you know, is it something that you want to work on? Friendships, you know, can you look for yoga classes to join to build that connection? Can you look for book clubs? Can you look for going to the park run and making friends? There's all different kinds of ways that we can look and we can see what's good. So some of these scores, you might be a 10 out of 10 for your career, and in which case, amazing. You might be a 10 out of 10 for your family, amazing. But for those lower scores, we can look and we can actually work out what's missing in your life. So after that, we then get on to the exciting part, which is your vision boarding exercise. And I want participants to think about intentions. I want them to think about perhaps setting a word for the year. So for example, I will share my word for 2025, and it is peace. That will be my word for 2025. And I think I've just knocked the microphone, so forgive me if you get a sudden noise there. That was completely my fault. And then it is all about, I've got a big blank page for you to write down your biggest dreams and your aspirations, your top 3 goals. Maybe you can set a deadline if that feels, something that aligned to what you want to do. And then we set some goals using the GROW model example, which I use with my coaching clients as well. And there's a little section in there about rewards as well, and maybe what a typical day would look like if you've achieved your goals, which, by the way, I will just give you a top tip. So I've been wanting to try this out for a while, and I went on ChatGPT last night and I wrote in all my goals that I wanted to achieve, and I said,
I've heard people do this. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to try.
It works. Maybe you and your friend could do this tonight.
Yeah.
So I wrote all my goals into ChatGPT, and I got really into it. I was like, proper typing away. And it came up with this typical day for this time next year. And I read it and I thought, oh my goodness. Oh my word. And I've printed it out and I read it this morning and I thought that's adding to my practice. So each day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to read what my life could look like if all of my goals were achieved by next year. So there's another little practice that you might want to do. It's so fun.
I'm looking forward to really nailing routine next year. I think that is what I thrive from, is having a routine. And when I give myself time, obviously I can't go to classes in the evenings. I'm teaching. I still, get wonderful. My students are amazing, and I love teaching them. That just brings me to the present all the time. So I find that mornings work well for me. So I've been trying to plan and figure out what classes I'm going to go to 3 times a week, early morning, where I get my time, and then once I've been to those classes and I haven't been on my phone first thing because I've been at a class, I go home and I am so productive. I can sit on my laptop for about 4 or 5 hours without even going for a wee, without moving.
Wow.
Because I've just given myself that time in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's taken me a while. It's taken me a couple of years to try different classes in early morning. So I've never used to be an early morning person, never. But I've now figured out what works well for me when I'm most productive. And that is what I'm excited for, is to nail that really good routine. Because I'm doing a lot more exercise as well. I need to nail a good eating routine, I need a good big breakfast, lunch and dinner, which takes time to prepare. So then I'm off teaching, just walking honey, I'm just excited to nail my routine down to a T.
Need to employ a chef.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, I like cooking. It's that switch off time for me. I enjoy it. It's time away from my phone. It is like meditation for me, I guess. I get, quiet time when I'm cooking. But I'm also aware that because I do obsess over routine so much, it won't always go to plan. And, if it doesn't go to plan, that's okay.
Yes.
It's okay if it doesn't go to plan, if I miss a morning class or whatever else. But that is what I'm looking forward to in 2025. So your year is all around peace. I think my year is all around routine.
I'm excited. Peace, routine. I'm excited too. I think just having that peace and that calm and just making that time for me to show up on the mat. And also, I do have quite a busy schedule. And when I take that time out for me, I go to yoga, I just feel amazing. Whether that's going to a class, whether that's doing some home practice, I just feel my zen. And it just really helps.
And that's, important, isn't it? Because a lot of us do have busy schedules. But it's finding the time to give to you first. How can you give the best out to the world if you haven't given yourself that time to refill your own cup? and it's really important. And I have sort of flexible working. So what I've tried to do is prioritize that me time, put that into my diary, put that into my schedule first, and build my work around that.
That is a really good
because
idea.
that is what's most important to me,
Yes.
you know, and it is prioritizing ourselves. And it's I don't know, it just sort of comes across sometimes that, you know, it's never been drilled into us when we were kids or anything to have self-care. You know, we call it self-care, but realistically it's you time. It's doing whatever fills you up. It's giving yourself that time, whether that's getting a bath, going for a run, reading a book, yoga, whatever it is. It's different for us all, but it's giving yourself that time, and it's just so important. So I think a huge goal for everyone in 2025 should be to prioritize that you time more.
Yes.
And I know it's hard, you know, families, kids, everything else, but it's so important. It's probably the most important thing.
Because if you don't take time to fill your cup up, then you can't possibly give to anybody else.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like you with your, you know, if you don't take that time for your practice,
Yeah.
then you won't be able to show up for your clients.
Absolutely.
And same for me as well. Same for us all.
Absolutely. So on that note, we're going to leave it there. But thank you very much, Jess. It's
No,
been
thank
wonderful,
you.
and I'm so excited to get going with my vision board tonight. So I will upload this so people can get going with their vision boards before the new year, or you can always do it in January if that works better for you. I know it's a busy time of the year.
I would just like to add in there, if that's okay,
Yeah.
that I know that we've done this just at the start of January, or this will come out just at the start of January, but there is no right time to do a vision board. So
anytime
if you're listening, watching this in March or July or August, then just go for it. There's no, you have to do it on January. And if you miss that, you know, if you miss that opportunity, you've got to wait another 12 months. No, just go for it. Go for it. And keep coming back to your vision board as well. You know, maybe quarterly or, you know, every 6 months, and just renew it, refresh it, because some of those things
add more things if that's what you want. Yeah.
Be careful with adding too much, because sometimes if you add too much to your vision board, then there's no space left.
Yeah.
And it doesn't create that vacuum. So I don't know if you've heard of it in the law of attraction. Obviously, you've got to, if you're adding something in, what is it that you're going to remove? Because you can't just keep adding, but you can definitely look at, well, actually, I don't think I want that anymore. And that's happened with me before. I've looked at my vision board and thought, I don't really want that anymore. And it comes off. Yeah. And that's the beauty of a vision board, because you can chop and change.
Redirecting, isn't it?
Redirection, yeah. So I think I just wanted to put a caveat on that you don't have to do this in January. You can do this anytime, and just have fun with it. And I'm really excited to see. And if anyone does, you know, want to share their vision boards with us, then I know that, you know, Becky and I would love to see them. I know that they can be quite private and personal, so if you did want to just share maybe how you found the experience, then please do, you know, leave a comment or just send us a message on Instagram. We'd be more than happy to help, or just hear how it's helped you.
Well, thank you very much,
thank
Jess.
You. I think I've been the first guest as well, so I feel honoured.
Yeah. Well, we wish you all a very happy new year, and we're looking forward to seeing you all in January. We have uploaded our new timetable with lots and lots of classes, lots of workshops, lots of events, community walks. It's all about you this year. We're here for you, and we're grateful for you all. So have a lovely new year, and see you next time.
Happy New Year, everyone.